Hey, it's Kimmy the Gadget Goddess, and it's been a minute. I've been covering cases and everything else, but I wanted to get to your questions answered on both of these devices. The reason I'm doing your questions answered on both devices at the same time, because most of your questions are similar for both devices. If you're here for the Oppo Find N2, you're going to get those questions answered. And if you're here for the Oppo Find N2 Flip, you'll get those questions answered. This video's for everybody. So buckle your seatbelt, get locked and loaded, because hey, this is going to be a fun video for those curious about these two phones. I want to get through just some basic things I was asked about these phones when I got them. Number one, first and foremost and always, does 5G work on these devices? Yes. Resounding yes. 5G works, and it works awesomely. Now, I don't know if you watched my Motorola video, the Motorola Razr 2022, but I got some really great speeds out of that phone. I'm getting really great speeds out of these. If you have any concerns about 5G, 5G works on these devices, no issue. Another random question I got was, does my phone log me out of my accounts randomly? And I said no. I wouldn't use a phone where I'm constantly having to update or reset things in my account. That would be a really big headache to have to log into my accounts multiple times throughout the day. Somebody asked me how my alerts work. They only get theirs to work if the apps are running in the background. And I said, well, I guess I don't close my apps out in the background. I don't do that on my domestic phones. I don't close my apps in the background of Pixels and any other device I might use. So maybe that's why my alerts work when people say they have delayed alerts, but my apps are running in the background, especially for apps that I use frequently. My battery life is official on both of these phones. That's another question. How's my battery life? I carry two phones, so I don't think it's really fair for me to give my opinion on what my battery life is like, because I charge my phones every other day. But I'm pretty sure if either one of these is your only device, you're gonna get a full day out of your charge. Now, SamSprung, I did not give a full tutorial of SamSprung. I told you I put it on there so I could get the apps to work, and I'm not going to give a full tutorial. It took me quite a bit of time to set that app up the way I wanted it, and the way I want it might not be the way you want. I carry two phones. I don't really need SamSprung to be my everything if I've got this phone over here in my other pocket. I've even had some people ask me how I feel about this phone compared to the Motorola 2022. And at this time, I can honestly say I favor the Motorola 2022 to this phone. There's just my personal opinion at this time. You know, I had that phone longer. The form factor is awesome. Maybe the global will be more useful, but without SamSprung, the outer screen on this is pretty useless besides of having my little hamster friend here. I have had no issues with my Oppo Watch and either one of these devices. I've used it on both. They work just fine. I am about ready to do my review. Rest assured, I still love this watch, and it's still lasting me a good week. One of the questions I always get asked is, can I use this on AT&T? And I've always been the one to tell people, I can only guarantee you that it'll work on T-Mobile and T-Mobile's little sister and little brother companies, Mint Mobile and stuff like that. This will work fine. I did have somebody hit me up in my comments. He is using this phone on Verizon currently, and it shocked me. I've never told anybody to use Verizon on any of these imports, but the fact that he has it functioning on an import. Hey, I think the only issue that he has with this phone, he's having issues with visual voicemail. So to me, if that's the biggest of his problems, that and Outlook, I say that's a win. As always, Android Auto does not work on either of these phones. If you're looking for an import that's going to use Android Auto, this is not the one for you. XDA will be your friend. I don't know if it was the Vivo or the Xiaomi, but one of those is working with Android Auto with a lot of tweaks. So if that's your cup of tea, which, I mean, if you're looking at these imports, it's probably your cup of tea, then you need to head over to XDA. Of course, you know this phone has flex mode. It's very limited in the apps that, you know, it works with. I have found for the most part that people just want flex mode for basically like YouTube or whatever. As you can see, flex mode works on both of these phones. It just depends on what phone you're using, how big it's gonna be. I'm playing the same video on both phones and they are in flex mode. To me, flex mode is more useful on the Oppo Find N than it is on the Flip. I mean, it's just how it is. I don't use it that often on the Flip, but I do use it on the Find N2. Both of these phones have received 3 updates since I have received the phones, and that's in the past month. So 3 updates in a month, security patches, regular updates to ColorOS 13. All are welcome. I welcome updates. I'm not one who hates on updates. I'm happy to have my phone updated whenever it can be updated. Shout out to Oppo for getting the phone updated. Shout out to the video on how to fix the text messaging issue on the Oppo Find N2 and the Oppo Find N2 Flip. I will link you to that video here if you do not know how to fix that problem. It is in my Oppo Find N2 Flip videos. You do not have DeX on these phones. A lot of people come to the channel and they look to replace their Samsung device with another device that has Samsung like software. I take each device for what it is. I haven't used a Samsung device since the Fold 3, but I am not attached to DeX. I wasn't attached to Flex Mode either. Wireless charging, don't need. I have a 67-watt charger, and I mean, it charges quick, so there's no need to have wireless throughout the day if I'm still basically sitting almost on a fresh battery every time I go to use it. Please believe me, I understand getting used to having certain software or certain perks like Good Lock and things like that. I get that, but I'm a person that changes devices frequently, so I can't get attached to what Oppo does versus what Vivo does versus what Xiaomi does. They all do different things and they all do them differently. I forget who has the magic ball, but there's a magic ball. There's the feature where you, well, I think everybody just about has to swipe in from the right or the left depending on where you want it. Some devices have it to where it's in one place and some devices have it to where it's wherever you want it. The only place I've been able to get horizontal split screen on a non-Samsung product is on the Xiaomi, and I'll show you how to do that in that video. If you're interested, I will link that here. If this phone ever gets split screen to where it's horizontally, I'll let you know. But for now, you can just get the side-by-side action, and that's all you get. As I stated before, I will include some camera footage at the end of this video. If you have questions, as always, I tell people please leave them down in the comments because I've mentioned it before. I commute 10 hours a week, so I'm not crunching out videos every day like some YouTubers. I get videos out to you when I can. I did want to show you footage of these two cameras because pretty much I thought they were pretty neck and neck. When you start going into zooms and whatnot, or if you really analyze the picture, that's when you start to see the differences. I left watermarks at the bottom so you know one versus the other. I also have video footage. I went to a piano bar and it was really nice to see it was like dueling pianos really. There were two guys playing pianos and they were playing classic songs, and it was kind of nice to see them do that, but it was also nice to see how this phone handled zooming from one side to the other and what it picked up and what it didn't. So instead of comparing the Oppo Find N2 to the Oppo Find N1, I compared the Oppo Find N2 to the Oppo Find N2 Flip. I saved the best for last, so I hope you enjoy it. would like to thank you for coming by the channel and checking out your questions answered on the Oppo Find N2 and the Oppo Find N2 Flip. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them down below. I do all of this because I truly enjoy it. I'd like to thank you for your time because time is money, and I hope to catch you on my next video. Holla!